it truly, I think, saved my business. It was weird joining, or weird's probably not the right word, but scary joining this program in the middle of the COVID shutdown, because my business had like little to no income. And again, we were already a startup business. So it was not easy for me to just like fork out the money, right? But I felt like it was necessary for me to make it through this season. And it paid off. I mean, I have only, we reopened in the middle of August, and it was August 8th when we reopened, and I made more in tuition income that month, less than 30 days, than I made in any of my months in business before COVID. I'm the founder of Move Inclusive Dance, which is a nonprofit dance studio here in Nashville, Tennessee, that is designed for individuals specifically with special needs, but we also have typical individuals that do not have any type of disability in the classes as well. My studio opened in August 2019, so we were open about 7 months before COVID shut the world down. So it's tough when I look back. I feel like I had just started like figuring out, what we were even doing. I told myself, how can I take advantage of the fact that my business is closed and I have these 7 months to look back on and say, okay, what worked really well? What did not work at all? And let's fix those things. And so I came across a Facebook ad for Mago's program. And originally I was like, I don't know that this would be beneficial for me because I'm not your average dance studio, but I'll give it a shot. And so I listened to his like intro webinar and immediately was intrigued by the fact that he also is not your typical dance studio owner. And so I was like, well, I'll schedule a call. Ended up taking a call, and I talked to Sherry, and I guess she had, looked through my website and social media stuff beforehand. And before I even had the opportunity to really think like, okay, what didn't work and why, she was able to tell me on that phone call a lot of things that made a lot of sense that I had not even thought of yet. We didn't have like an official intro program. I would just every once in a while post, or there was like a little line on the website that said, contact us to schedule your first free class. And people would occasionally reach out to do that. But the actual attendance rate was very low. And I never even really considered the fact that it was because it was free, right? And so we now do a 2-week intro that has a really great rate. It's $29.99. Another thing was I didn't have any type of system to track prospects for sure. That was like a whole other thing. That was just like, I was definitely the person that I'd write, if somebody came in, I like wrote it down and then would put it over here and like hopefully remember it whenever I was in a space to like reach out to people about an event or something. But I didn't even have a real system to track my students. I mean, I was doing everything manually. And so we're now using Compete, which is a huge, huge game changer. But because I didn't have a formal system, parents would just pay me monthly. Like they would come in and I would either run their credit card in QuickBooks or they'd pay cash or check. And so my retention rate was, not great because they weren't really tied into a program. They didn't even really know what the program length was. I didn't even really know what the program length was. So now when people are signing up, they're signing up knowing exactly what we offer and how long they're going to be in it. And that of course is huge for me because I can, things are going to happen, of course, with people having financial situations, but for the most part, I can go to bed knowing that they're also going to be paying me next month, and they're going to be back. I nerd out over like any type of homework. If I'm really interested in something or I'm really committed to something, I want to know like every piece of that puzzle. And so I really honestly loved the beginning of the course where I was doing all of the homework in the training modules. I think that they were very thorough and just like gave me all of the information that I needed to put things into action. So I loved that. And I think the weekly group calls were great as well. And then I would also say that you guys do just a fantastic job of, anytime I send an email, I knew I would get a response within 24 hours. And I think that is huge, especially when owners like myself are making these huge changes, and it does feel scary. It's nice to know that you have like the support from you guys. And any questions I had, y'all would hit me with an answer in no time. If you want to make a difference, you've got to find people who think differently than you do. So I was open from day one, again, from that initial phone call with Sherry, when she started spitting out ideas to me. I was like, yeah, let's do it today. Like I'm in, especially, you know, seeing and hearing about the success stories of the people that you guys work with. It's clear, I think, that, okay, there's something to this. And that doesn't mean that it wasn't hard. Raising my prices was uncomfortable. I work with a very different community, and they have a lot of extra financial needs that are on their plate. And so, yeah, it wasn't easy to just be like, hey, and by the way, we're going to be charging you more now, and we're locking you into 12 months and all of these big drastic changes. But it was, in the end, easier than I ever could have thought. I mean, the parents, I only had a few people maybe push back on a couple of things, and when they did, it was pretty much for like legitimate reasons, and we worked those out, right? So I guess my answer is to just like try not to be afraid of it, because it's probably going to go way better than you could even imagine.